Pero si quiere conocer.
يلا حاولوا
هو منيح
I've ever marched on the sidewalk with, isn't it?
I would love to be with American people to say no to our regime. Children die, not another war. It's not alive. Children die, not another war. It's not alive. When you just crucified, children die, not another war. It's not alive. When you just crucified, children die, not another war. It's not alive.
Hands off Syria! Hands off Syria! Sisters and brothers, we also want to say, if there is an attack on Syria, we will be out here in Times Square and all across the country saying, hands off Syria. We're going to be out here again and again.
No more Syria in our name!
And we have another one. Obama, you've got blood on your hands. Iraq, Yemen, and Afghanistan. No war on Syria. No war on Syria. And if you make it,
Thank you.
and you kill people in our name, we are going to be out here every day because we know we're not democratic. Not in the majority.
war with Syria. I mean, war is not the answer. It never is the answer. And this is another case where the people have been misled, just like the Iraq war. And hopefully the people are realizing how misled they are. You know, this is a greater issue.
Thank you, thank you. I don't know how the people at the wedding for
You can't look forward and not backwards on Syria. You can't look forward and backwards on Bradley Manning. That's not the rule of law. That's political expediency. You're a liar. It has nothing to do with the rule of law, and it has nothing to do with the human rights. It's political expediency. It's what's convenient to you.
You consider surveillance of foreign presidents, defying their sovereignty. What about Mexico's presidents, Brazil's presidents? Why do you not respect their right to privacy, their right to execute their laws under their own government? You authorize this. If you did not authorize this, your government is out of control. You allow the NSA to survey all American citizens, foreign countries, foreign presidents, foreign leaders. You have no
with the knowledge of GCHQ, British intelligence, they were moving, what is it, two different chemicals known to make sarin gas for years, but they ramped it up in recent years, like a year ago. So there is proof. It's just not in the favor of what, you know, Obama and the government is peddling. Yeah, potassium chloride and sodium chloride, which is in our water, by the way.
Russia said to Obama, if you're gonna prove me that there is a chemical weapon in Syria, I'll support you and I'll fight against the Syrian regime. Why are you losing this kind of big country like Russia? Why? Why are you breaking the United Nations rules? Why? If you have a proof for that. But we know why you're going over there all the way down to Syria. You're going for the gas, but you dream on it, Obama. You're never gonna touch it.
Everyone learned in their 8th grade class that we have a representative democracy. We took notes and we heard that there was a Congress and we heard that they were to represent the voice of the American people, and we clapped in the 8th grade. This is what democracy means. This is what democracy looks like. Now I'm going to say to you that if our Congress this week does not vote the voice of the massive numbers of American people in all the congressional districts, does not respond to that sentiment this week based on this war that they want to make up, then we need to talk about massive civil disobedience at the congressional headquarters of those congresspeople, particularly those congresspeople that voted for this war. I also suggest that we sit in at the offices of those that voted positively because they didn't work hard enough. So keep in mind our democratic right to sit down somewhere and say no, all right? So this is the key week that will perform for you what you've all learned, or many of you learned in the 8th grade, representative democracy.
The other day, I was on Drudge Report, and the poll there had over 330,000 votes. 92% were against the war in Syria.
And he's driving all the way down to Syria to fight, to kill, to destroy Syria, to teach them the democracy. You know? 80% of your people are saying to you, no for war. And you keep going to start the war.
But we all know that if you go into a country that is in civil strife, and you try to give them, project your democracy, your way of life on them, it never, ever has worked. Number one. And number two, you don't know what dictator, you don't know what regime is going to come to power. So creating instability in a country, especially one which has done nothing wrong to us, what's the point? If not to create the instability, to implant certain cells. There was a 50-man CIA cell that went into Syria about a month ago. I just want you all to know. I heard that on Alex Jones. It was DIA, actually, not CIA. But anyway, and what these guys do, you guys should look up Gladio. Okay, this is a very important name. And I mean, honestly, there's probably a member of them somewhere around here right now. Because what they do, and this has been known by us from a big court hearing in Italy in the 70s, where Andreotti, who was the prime minister at the time in Italy, basically got in trouble, and then he outed this whole network called Short Sword or Gladio. And he basically said it's not just Italy that's doing this, that have these secret armies organized by NATO and SHAPE. SHAPE is the Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe. It's the head of NATO in Europe. And basically what they do is this is an underground army that is being organized to create civil strife and to implant certain ideologues in countries during a time of instability to create more instability. They even have proof that these armies supported by NATO bury arms in graves with false names. And we're talking rocket launchers and machine guns and sniper weapons. And what's going on in Syria right now, folks? People are not getting shot in the legs. They're getting shot in the head. They're getting shot in the heart. That's because there are trained snipers. Guess who trained them? Think about it.
How many people have heard the term extraordinary rendition? How many people have heard that term? Extraordinary rendition. There were 3 countries we used to torture people for the United States. One was Libya, one was Mubarak's Egypt, and one was Assad, Syria. Assad did cross the red line when he tortured for us. The international community has an obligation to bomb Syria. It has an obligation to bomb the United States of America.
As well. I see where you're going with that.
We want peace.
Yeah, but we want peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Let's get something that rhymes that we can add in about Syria.
Hell no, we won't go.
Hell no.
Heck no, I don't care.
No, it's not the hell that bothers me. I'm from the 60s.
Yeah, but you can visit it. That worked.
It actually, at this point, you know, this is an interesting problem because Obama says he's not talking about sending troops. But what's going to happen?
Well, and plus to carry that forward, he said that we're not going to put boots on the ground, but he's been escalating and basically they're sending in troops right now in amphibious vehicles, which are waiting in off the coast. Why do they need amphibious vehicles if there's not going to be a ground incursion? Why has tens of thousands of troops appeared in the past year or two in Jordan and Turkey and the surrounding area? There's a reason for all this, and we can't be blind anymore. We've reached a time where we need to wake up and realize that unless we the people start telling our government, you know, what's wrong and that we can't, you know, create havoc around the world without blowback. You know, and the people, I walk around in the trains and I talk to people on the trains, and you know, a lot of people I see, they want to have the blinders on, but like, we're co-opting our children's future, and that's unacceptable. Okay, so to all of you who are still sitting at home, you know, whatever comes to America, you are responsible.
Yes, we are. We are responsible for our government. Yes, we are.
My check!
My check.
I'm in favor of boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Provided they're Obama's boots. They're boots belonging to every member of Congress who's going to vote in favor of this war, of this mission creep. Let's not forget the same people calling for intervention for humanitarian reasons are the same people who sanction torture, drone strikes, who are spying on billions of people at home and abroad. These are the same people that are cutting food stamps for millions of Americans. So we don't buy their lies. The only reason the U.S. wants anything to do with Syria is to secure its military position and its interest in the Middle East. They don't care about the Syrian people, and they certainly don't care for the Arab Spring. Thank you.
All right. That was good. My check. Sorry. I had this all prepared. Don't mic check that. I think let's go back to 2002.
Go back to 2002.
On the justification for war.
On the justification for war.
This brother nailed it.
This brother nailed it.
It's global U.S. interests.
It's global U.S. interests
that they care about.
that they care about.
Controlling the Middle East.
Controlling the Middle East.
Keeping oil flowing.
Keeping oil flowing.
But even more important.
But even more important.
Letting no other power.
Letting no other power.
Usurp the United States.
Usurp the United States.
This is what these wars.
This is what these wars
in the Mideast.
in the Mideast
are all about.
are all about.
Nothing to do with humanity.
Nothing to do with humanity.
Nothing to do with justice.
Nothing to do with justice.
Certainly nothing to do.
Certainly nothing to do
with democracy.
with democracy.
We all know.
We all know.
We don't have it here.
We don't have it here.
So what do we think?
So what do we think
about the Nobel Prize winner?
about the Nobel Prize winner
Coming up with a novel idea.
coming up with a novel idea
To have a war.
to have a war
Justified. By humanitarian intervention.
By humanitarian intervention.
He said the same thing.
He said the same thing
About Libya.
About Libya.
And unfortunately.
And unfortunately,
Most of us. Went along with it.
went along with it.
Most other countries.
Most other countries
Let him do it.
let him do it.
And what happened?
And what happened?
A disaster in Libya.
A disaster in Libya
Continued.
continued.
Nothing about the Arab Spring.
Nothing about the Arab Spring.
And let's talk about.
And
Let's talk about
These countries.
these countries
Where Obama does.
where Obama does
Targeted killing.
targeted killing
Across national borders.
across national borders
And against international law.
and against international law
Every day.
every day.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday,
Pakistan.
Pakistan,
6 or maybe more.
or maybe more,
Alleged militants.
alleged militants
Were killed in a U.S. drone strike.
were killed in a U.S. drone strike.
We are told.
And we are told
This keeps us safer.
this keeps us safer.
Look at that banner.
look at that banner
Right there.
right there.
Bush
Bush
did how many drone strikes?
did how many drone strikes?
Less than 100.
Less than 100.
Obama.
Obama,
Mr. Peace Prize.
Mr. Peace Prize,
More than 800.
more than 800
Drone strikes.
drone strikes.
Pakistan.
Pakistan,
Yemen.
Yemen,
Somalia.
Somalia,
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan,
Iraq.
Iraq,
Libya.
Libya,
Maybe the Philippines.
maybe the Philippines.
They're secret.
They're secret.
They're illegitimate.
They're illegitimate.
Against international law.
Against international law.
It's still a war crime.
It's still a war
No
crime.
matter who does it.
No matter who does it.
And this war crime.
And this war crime
that he's trying to sell.
that he's trying to sell
Could be the worst.
could be the worst
Because it could ignite.
because it could ignite
A regional war.
a regional war.
Even worse.
Even worse.
And the U.S. has already brought down.
that the U.S. has already brought down.
Our numbers.
Our numbers
Today. About 100.
about 100
Reflect the opinion.
The opinion
Of many more people.
of many more people.
We know that.
We know that.
Even Congress says that.
Even Congress says that.
Lots of Republicans.
Lots of Republicans
Are against it.
are against it
For all the wrong reasons.
for all the wrong reasons.
I hear them talking.
I hear them talking.
Syria.
Syria.
It's not our problem.
It's not our problem.
We don't care.
We don't care.
What happens to those people?
What happens to those people?
Sort it out.
So what I say,
That's completely wrong.
that's completely wrong.
We do care.
We do care.
What happens?
What happens
To all human beings who are victims
Who are victims
of unjust wars.
of unjust war?
But we know
But to talk
about international peace.
about international peace.
It's only we
It's only we
that can create it.
that can create it.
And let's work to see
And let's work to see
that
that we
when we march in 10 minutes,
When we march in 10 minutes,
we'll be sending a message
we'll be sending a message
to the whole globe
to the whole world
that there are people in this country
that there are people in this country
who care about their lives,
who care about their lives,
who oppose their own government,
who oppose their own government,
who do stand
do stand
for peace,
for peace,
for justice,
for justice,
again.
It's once again.
Going to mount an attack.
Going to mount an attack.
In the Middle East.
In the Middle East.
Against the interests.
Against the interests.
Of the people of the world.
Of the people of the world.
And of this country.
And of this country.
The whole world knows right now.
The whole world knows right now.
We're against this war.
We're against this war.
A missile strike.
A missile strike.
Limited or not.
Limited or not.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegitimate.
It's illegitimate.
It's immoral.
It's immoral.
It's unjust.
It's unjust.
It's not in our name.
Not in our name.
All of us.
All of us.
Have the responsibility.
Have the responsibility.
To bring many more people.
To bring many more people.
Into the streets.
Into the streets.
As needed.
As needed.
Because for one thing is sure.
Because one thing is sure.
The only force.
The only force.
Capable.
Capable.
Of stopping them.
Of stopping them.
Is the people in this country.
Is the people in this country.
Citizen or not.
Citizen or not.
Voters or not.
Voters or not.
Young and old.
Young and old.
People who care about humanity. We want the black voices of this country to send a message to Obama. We are not the Al Sharpton, but a truly principled left force. Please join us. Hands off Syria! Hands off Syria! Hands off Syria! Not another war! Hands off Syria! Not another war! Sisters and brothers, every war in our lifetime has been based on a lie.
Absolutely.
Isn't that right? Please remember Vietnam.
Hands off Syria. Hands off Syria. Hands off Syria. Hands off Syria.
because Congress is voting this week. So stay in touch with all of the organizations that are mobilizing. We have to stay in the streets. There's demonstrations all over the country. This is a time to make our voice heard. No more lies. No more lies. Not another war. Not another war. No more lies.
If nobody does anything, we'll continue.
No more lies. Not another war. No more lies.
I think if they go to the war, Russia will intervene in Iran, maybe another alliance in the region, so it's gonna be maybe a World War III.
As the majority of people are against another war. Every other war we conducted,
we as
at least
Syrians
in my lifetime,
want peace.
started
We
with
don't
a
want to
majority
fight,
for
but
it.
if
This
we are
starts
forced
with a
to
majority
go to this
against
war,
it.
we're gonna do
Today,
our
and
best.
this week, there are demonstrations in towns and villages and big cities all across the country. Today, there are demonstrations all across the country, and this is just one of them. We, although the government is isolated in this issue, we are not. The anti-war movement is being built. And together we can stop this war. There has been chemical weapons used. They were used in Iraq. White phosphorus was used in Iraq by the United States. Mustard gas was used. Depleted uranium was used. Yes, there has been chemical weapons, and how hypocritical is it for this government to say we are not going, we are creating a red line that we will not pass. It makes no sense for the government in Syria to use them. When it was winning the war, and the sentiment of the people were on the side of the government, and they would know that to cross such a red line would bring the United States in. It makes no sense, and it did not happen. It's time we say it did not happen, and let's say it clear. I'm from the United National Anti-War Coalition, which today is the largest coalition in the country. If you are not on our email list, please come up to me, give me your email, and let's get on here and let me get you on our email list so you can join this great movement which is now beginning, which is going to bring about a better world for all of us. Thank you. Get your bloody hands on Syria. Get your bloody hands on Afghanistan. Get your bloody hands on Yemen, Somalia.
He said, I know.
It's a Christian only spill for blood.
But maybe this one time they
What you going to Syria for? You said they got weapons of mass destruction? Well, you said that about Iraq. Did you find any weapons? Did you find any weapons? So why would we fall for this again? And then you about terrorists? Which one, America? Which terrorists you talking about?
CIA rebels.
What terrorists they talking about?
CIA rebels.
CIA rebel terrorists. That's the terror that's what you're talking about. Okay. Do America got weapons of mass destruction?
Yes.
Do we have weapons of mass destruction? Now, when we tolerate a foreign group to come in our country to bomb our children, will you let your children do? Will you do that? Will you let a foreign army come to New York right now and bomb our babies?
Hell motherfucking nah.
Will you?
Hell motherfucking nah.
Okay. So if you take up arms to fight that foreign army, what would they call you in the media?
Terrorists.
What? A terrorist. A terrorist. Why? Because you defending America? Because you defending the streets of New York? Because you defending the NYPD and those people that try to bomb us? That's why? No, that's what they do. They will be fighting with us. Hopefully. Right? So my point is this. The people that they invade, the normal people in that country, the regular citizens in that country, they stand up and fight back, and y'all call them terrorists. We need to stop calling them terrorists. We need to call them freedom fighters. And that's what they are. Because if that happened to us, they'll call us the freedom fighters. Get your bloody hands off of Syria. Get your bloody hands off of Afghanistan and off of Yemen. And one more thing. You know why they doing this? You know why the Congress is passing all these laws that go against morality, to go against humanity? Because they already told you what they're doing. It's a separation of church and state, meaning that they don't care about God and righteousness. This is why they're doing this. Because if they fear God, and they was true Christians, or true people that believe in the Bible, they won't do none of that. They won't kill innocent people.
No war in Syria.
So get your bloody hands off of Syria. I'm Abdul Qadir live in your ear. We here.
Right now in this city, hospitals are closing, schools are closing, all kinds of resources that people in this city use to survive are being shut down. Well, what are they talking about doing? They're talking about a new war against Syria. How much money is every single one of these missiles going to cost? At least $1 million. That could be teachers, that could be nurses, that could be doctors. But instead, it's going to a war. Do we want that? No! And now, you know, there have already been 100,000 people killed in this war in Syria. And they've been killed because our tax dollars are going to fund the Syrian rebels. A lot of these Syrian rebels aren't even from Syria. They're from places like Qatar, places like Jordan, places like Libya, and they've been shipped in. Syria was a peaceful country, and now there's a civil war going on. And the United Nations has reported that these rebels in Syria, funded by our tax dollars, are recruiting children. Children as young as 11 and 12, and they're recruiting them and using them to kill people in Syria. Chemical weapons have been used by the Syrian rebels. They've used them. Carla Del Ponte from the United Nations has confirmed that. They're using sarin gas, and they're killing innocent people in Syria with our tax dollars. And the reason that they're talking about striking Syria right now, the reason they're talking about striking is because those rebels are losing. Why are they losing? They're losing because the people of Syria don't support them. They don't support foreign imported insurgents trying to tear up their country. And that is why Obama wants to send a missile to do what the rebels can't do, because they don't have support on the ground. We want the people of Syria to run Syria. We want money for jobs and schools and education, not a new war. I'm with FIST, Fight Imperialism, stand together, and you can check us out. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shahid Kamran and I'm a Secretary General, Pakistan USA Freedom Forum. I want to share with you what kind of president or what kind of government what we have. Those people who cannot say coup is a coup when the Egyptian army dissolved the elected government. How can I trust them when we don't have any other proof? They cannot see a coup is a coup. We don't trust anything. It's a simple, in my country, 24 hours before, there was a drone. It's illegal by the United Nations charters and the regulations. I'm asking you, please wake up, United States. Being an immigrant and being a Muslim, I beg you, we will stand for the peace. We will serve this country what the country was born, for the freedom and rights to everybody. We will not be called via CIA, via Pentagon, that we are the warmongers. No, we love peace, and that's the agenda of the nation of the United States. We will stand for the peace, and we will stop anybody who's coming from the White House, Black House, Yellow House, 10 Downing Street, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Portuguese, any country. Their all names is a new and old, new colonialist. They are occupier. This country, we all stand for the democracy. We are not standing for any family rule. Let me clear, we are not standing for any family rule. Let the people decide their country. Outsider, United States, British has no right. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to need a hand taking stuff back to the office. So anyone who can help, and we also, if you want to stay in touch, there's a sign-up list at the table behind me, over by the cans here. Okay, we're going to ask Tony Murphy, who did so much of the media work, to speak, and it's an open mic. There'll be a chance for others also.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm with Workers' World Party, and I wanted to make some comments about what I think is the basis of this war. It's this, the for-profit system. All right, that's good. So you know, sometimes our enemies can be very slick. We know the main slogan for this march is money for jobs, not for war. We want all those trillions of dollars that those banks are sitting on, that they got bailed out with, to be used for us and not for another war. Am I right? Sometimes our enemies are kind of slick. A couple of days ago, Kerry, the Secretary of State, said, "Don't worry about it. We're going to get some other countries to pay for it. Some of the other kingdoms." And my answer to that is, if it's so easy to get a rich country to open up their checkbooks, then there should be nobody losing their job. There should be nobody losing their pension. There should be nobody who needs health care, and every McDonald's worker should get $20 an hour. If it's so easy to get rich people to open up their checkbooks, make them open up for the people and not for war. And another thing, when they bailed out those banks, those trillions of dollars that they're sitting on, that's our money. That's not just money that we're asking for. That's our money, not just because it's in the Treasury, which is supposed to belong to us, but because we created that money. We created that wealth. Whether you're a grape picker, or if you wash dishes for a living, or you work in a building, or you're a construction worker, or you're a transit worker, you're creating the wealth that they use, and we have the right to demand that they use that money for us because we created that wealth.
Of usury.
So, sisters and brothers, I got media cameras to come here today because I wanted people to know what we're saying, and we are saying, not another war. We won't stand for another war built on lies. And we want the people in Syria to know that we're doing everything we can to stop this war. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to hear from a Syrian American talking about his family.
Hello, thank you. Yeah, I'm Imad from Syria. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm with the
Thank you everybody for this lovely rally, for your support. Our family in Syria appreciate it a lot. We are here to say we don't want a war, we do want a peace, we don't want our country, our lovely country to be destroyed by the same lie of Iraq 10 years ago when Mr. Kerry, Mr. John Kerry in 2002 said, I gonna vote to give the President of the United States the authority to use force if necessary to disarm Saddam Hussein, because I believe that the deadly arsenal of mass destruction weapons in his hand constitutes a big and grave threat to our national security. And what happened later? A countless number of casualties there in Iraq till up to date, and no weapons were found except your missiles, Mr. Kerry, killing the civilians there and destroying Iraq. We don't want our country to be destroyed by the same lie. We want a peace, we don't want a war. Hands off Syria. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have another Syrian American voice here.
Hi, New York people, I love you. My name is Aida from New Jersey. Sorry, my voice is down. I love you, New York. I love you. Your people, you standing for peace. I love you so much. God bless you.
You stand for peace, she said. Thank you.
I love you. Stand for peace.
Hello, I just wanted to say, my name is Jack. I just wanted to say, to tee up from what the guy was saying before, that Saudi Arabia is one of the countries that said that they would support our illegal intrusion into Syria. And that's a big problem, because I believe that the game plan for Saudi Arabia, the motivation for them is that, and it has always been, that they want to capture Medina, because if they control Mecca and Medina, they control Islam. Yes. This is a very big issue, much bigger than many realize, even some of us here. And, you know, for others to try to, you know, squash the Occupy movement because they say it's unorganized, this and that. Well, then why are there Occupy movements all across the world? Ask yourself that. It's simple. There's inequality, injustice in the world, and we're sick of it. So no more war. Stick together, stay unified with each other. And that's it.